Question 1. When considering the deployment of a hybrid cloud model for a global retail company, its manager Alina must decide how to distribute workloads between private and public resources. She needs strong security for payment data, but also elasticity during seasonal sales. Which deployment approach best balances cost efficiency, security, and scalability without overburdening in-house infrastructure? A. Keep sensitive transactions in the private cloud and use the public cloud for peak loads. B. Use the public cloud for all workloads, encrypting sensitive data before storage. C. Split all workloads evenly between public and private clouds year-round. D. Deploy all services in the private cloud and scale hardware before seasonal demand. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. The optimal hybrid approach keeps payment data subject to strict compliance within the private cloud while leveraging the public cloud's elasticity for temporary high-demand periods. This balances operational costs with security by reserving dedicated resources for critical workloads and using pay-as-you-go scalability for non-sensitive seasonal demand. It avoids overinvestment in private infrastructure while meeting regulatory and performance requirements. Question 2. Through the lens of cost transparency, Finance Director Raj wants to justify its expenses to department heads. Using Realize Business for Cloud, he plans to present reports showing resource usage by department and the associated costs. Which feature would most effectively enable Raj to communicate this information clearly to stakeholders? A. Real-time alerting for excessive resource usage. B. Showback reporting for departmental resource consumption. C. Automation workflows for resource provisioning. D. Capacity planning dashboards for infrastructure forecasting. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Showback reporting in Realize Business for Cloud provides detailed insight into resource usage by department, translating consumption into monetary values. This enables transparent communication of its costs, fostering accountability without directly charging departments. Such visibility is crucial for optimizing resource allocation and aligning spending with business priorities while promoting informed decision-making across stakeholders. Question 3. Based on the information from a Realize automation deployment, System Administrator Amina wants to provision multiple application stacks that include web, database, and middleware components. She wants a repeatable and consistent process without manual configuration each time. Which VRA component is designed for this purpose? A. Tenant configuration policies. B. Approval workflows. C. Blueprints for service provisioning. D. Catalog entitlements. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Blueprints in Realize automation define the complete configuration and orchestration steps required to provision multi-tier applications, ensuring repeatable, consistent deployments. By encapsulating compute, storage, networking, and configuration scripts, blueprints reduce human error and speed delivery. They are central to standardized service provisioning, enabling rapid deployment aligned with predefined business and technical requirements. Question 4. Given the circumstances of a sudden increase in service requests, Cloud Administrator Victor notices that manual approval workflows are delaying provisioning. The business demands faster delivery for non-critical requests. Which action aligns with automation best practices while maintaining governance? A. Bypass approvals for all service requests permanently. B. Automate approvals for low-risk requests while keeping manual approvals for critical ones. C. Increase staff to process approvals faster. D. Require all approvals to be escalated to senior management for consistency. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. In a balanced automation strategy, low-risk service requests can be auto-approved to reduce delays while maintaining manual checks for sensitive or high-impact requests. This approach streamlines provisioning without sacrificing governance, ensuring business agility and resource optimization. By removing unnecessary manual steps in predictable scenarios, provisioning efficiency and user satisfaction both improve. Question 5. Taking into account the need for real-time application performance insights, operations engineer Lewis wants to identify unusual CPU spikes in a cloud-hosted system. Which Realize Operations Manager feature best supports this requirement? A. Blueprint design for optimized workload provisioning. B. Showback cost analysis. C. Alerts configured for performance thresholds. D. Service catalog integration. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Configuring alerts in Realize Operations Manager based on defined performance thresholds provides immediate notifications where CPU usage deviates from expected norms. This enables proactive investigation and remediation before performance degradation affects users. By combining real-time monitoring with automated alerting, operations teams can maintain service health and reduce downtime risks. Timely intervention. Question 6. Upon closer examination of a multi-cloud integration project, architect Sophia identifies the need to orchestrate workflows across VMware vSphere and an external backup service, which Realize Orchestrator capability makes this possible without extensive custom coding. A. Direct hypervisor console access. B. Pre-built plugin integration for external systems. C. Manual script deployment. D. Approval policy configuration. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Realize Orchestrator plugins extend workflow capabilities to external systems like backup services, enabling seamless integration without heavy custom development. These plugins provide predefined operations and connection logic, reducing complexity and ensuring reliability. Leveraging plugins accelerates automation projects, enhances maintainability, and facilitates cross-platform orchestration. Diverse infrastructure environments. Question 7. Throughout the course of a cloud migration, lead Arjun wants to maintain consistent provisioning standards across multiple tenants in Realize Automation, which administrative practice ensures that each tenant's services follow corporate compliance rules without duplicating effort. A. Defining global approval policies at the root level. B. Creating separate blueprints for each tenant with unique configurations. C. Using isolated catalogs with independent entitlements. D. Manually reviewing every request for compliance. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Establishing global approval policies at the root level in Realize Automation enforces consistent governance across tenants. This ensures all provisioning requests adhere to compliance and business rules without requiring separate configurations per tenant. Centralized policy management simplifies administration, reduces duplication, and maintains uniform standards throughout the environment. Question 8. In contrast to traditional manual scaling, a retail company uses Realize Operations Manager to forecast when additional compute capacity will be required for its e-commerce platform, which feature directly supports this predictive capability. A. Capacity planning analysis. B. Approval workflow optimization. C. Log parsing and indexing. D. Plugin-based system integration. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Capacity planning in Realize Operations Manager evaluates historical usage patterns and projects' future resource needs. This predictive insight enables proactive infrastructure scaling, preventing performance bottlenecks during demand surges. By anticipating growth trends, organizations can optimize procurement, avoid over-provisioning, and maintain cost efficiency while ensuring consistent service performance. Question 9. By comparing two automation strategies, engineer Preya notes that one involves scripting repetitive tasks directly in Vro while the other builds modular components for reuse across multiple workflows. Which approach offers greater maintainability and efficiency over time? A. Embedding scripts within each workflow instance. B. Creating reusable actions in Vro. C. Using only manual task execution for flexibility. D. Hard-coding integrations in every workflow. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Creating reusable actions in Realize Orchestrator promotes modularity, allowing a single scriptable component to be referenced across multiple workflows. This reduces duplication, simplifies maintenance, and ensures consistent logic execution. Updates to an action automatically propagate wherever it's used, streamlining automation development and improving long-term efficiency. Question 10. While examining a service catalog in Realize Automation, Administrator Mateo notices that users struggle to find appropriate services due to inconsistent naming and unclear descriptions. Which action would most improve usability and adoption? A. Increase the number of services offered. B. Standardize catalog item names and provide detailed descriptions. C. Remove rarely used services without replacement. D. Enable automatic approvals for all items. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Standardizing service catalog item names and enhancing descriptions improves discoverability and user understanding, which directly supports adoption. Clear, consistent labeling helps users quickly identify relevant services, reducing provisioning errors and support requests. This usability focus aligns catalog design with user expectations, improving satisfaction and operational efficiency. Question 11. Demonstrated by a multinational manufacturing company, Cloud Administrator Rehan is tasked with integrating Realize automation with multiple vCenter server instances in different regions. His goal is to enable provisioning in all sites from a single catalog, which capability ensures this integration works seamlessly. A global approval policy configuration. B. Endpoint integration for each vCenter server. C. Capacity planning dashboards. D. Log analysis and aggregation. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Endpoint integration in Realize automation connects the platform to external systems such as vCenter server, enabling provisioning and lifecycle management directly within VRA. By configuring endpoints for each regional vCenter, Rehan ensures resources are accessible from the central service catalog, simplifying administration and delivering a unified provisioning experience across geographies. Question 12. In the absence of a dedicated log analysis solution, DevOps engineer Sarah finds troubleshooting workflow failures time-consuming, which Realize Suite component would best improve her ability to quickly identify the root cause of errors. A. Realize Business for Cloud. B. Realize Orchestrator plugins. C. Realize Automation blueprints. D. Realize Log Insight. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Realize Log Insight centralizes, parses, and analyzes log data from multiple sources, enabling rapid root cause identification. By aggregating logs across the environment, Sarah can correlate events and pinpoint failures efficiently. This capability reduces downtime, accelerates troubleshooting, and provides actionable insights for system stability. Question 13. While examining departmental requests, IT manager Jason wants to ensure that each approved blueprint adheres to corporate naming conventions, security settings, and resource limits without manual intervention. Which strategy aligns best with automation governance? A. Embed compliance checks directly in blueprint definitions. B. Maintain manual approval for every request. C. Create separate blueprints for every department variation. D. Remove departmental customization from the process. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Embedding compliance logic directly into blueprints enforces organizational standards automatically during provisioning. This ensures consistent application of naming conventions, security configurations, and resource policies without requiring manual oversight. By integrating governance at the design stage, Jason achieves compliance and efficiency simultaneously. Question 14. Considering the evidence of rising infrastructure costs, finance analyst Linda wants to determine which business units consume the most expensive resources in the cloud environment. Which Realize Business for Cloud feature supports this analysis? A. Capacity forecasting tools. B. Departmental cost showback reports. C. Workflow execution logs. D. Service catalog entitlements. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Showback reporting in Realize Business for Cloud provides cost breakdowns per business unit, mapping resource consumption to monetary values. This enables informed decision-making about allocation, optimization, and budgeting. By presenting these reports, Linda can highlight high-cost usage patterns and promote more cost-effective practices. Question 15. Upon closer examination of application performance trends, operations engineer may want to predict future compute shortages and budget for upgrades proactively. Which Realize operations manager capability best addresses her need? A. Approval policy optimization. B. Predictive capacity analytics. C. Plugin-based system integrations. D. Service catalog item standardization. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Predictive capacity analytics in Realize Operations Manager leverages historical usage patterns to forecast future resource needs. This foresight allows ME to plan and budget for infrastructure upgrades before shortages occur, reducing risk of service disruption and supporting cost-efficient growth planning. Question 16. When analyzing repeated provisioning delays, Administrator Ahmed discovers that approval requests are bottlenecked. As a single manager, he wants to improve efficiency without sacrificing security for sensitive workloads. What is the most effective solution? A. Create multiple approvers for the same policy to distribute load. B. Reduce approval requirements for all workloads. C. Embed all approvals within the blueprint. D. Increase staff to handle requests manually. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Assigning multiple approvers to the same approval policy distributes workload and reduces processing delays while maintaining governance for sensitive requests. This balances operational efficiency with security, ensuring timely provisioning without lowering compliance standards. Question 17. The primary reason for using modular workflows in Realize Orchestrator, as observed by automation lead Daniel, is to avoid repeatedly writing similar logic for different services. Which component supports this approach? A. Hard-coded scripts in every workflow. B. Reusable actions stored centrally. C. Manual execution of identical steps. D. Static approval templates. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Reusable actions in Realize Orchestrator allow modular, scriptable components to be referenced across multiple workflows. This reduces duplication, simplifies maintenance, and ensures consistent behavior. By creating actions once and reusing them, Daniel can accelerate development and streamline automation updates. Question 18. From the perspective of catalog usability, Product Manager HANA notices users frequently select the wrong services due to unclear item descriptions. Which corrective step is most aligned with self-service adoption goals? They increase the catalog size with more options. B. Standardize item names and add descriptive metadata. C. Remove underused items without replacement. D. Require pre-approval before catalog browsing. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Standardizing names and enriching descriptions improves discoverability and user comprehension in the service catalog. This reduces selection errors, increases confidence in self-service provisioning, and aligns with adoption objectives by making services more intuitive and accessible. Question 19. Under the assumption that multi-cloud governance is critical, enterprise architect Omar needs a way to enforce uniform approval and compliance policies across all tenants without configuring each separately, which Realize automation capability is best suited for this. A. Per tenant isolated blueprints. B. Global approval policy enforcement. C. Manual request reviews. D. Localized tenant catalog rules. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Global approval policies ensure uniform governance across tenants from a single configuration point. This eliminates the need for repetitive per-tenant setup, ensuring compliance and consistency while reducing administrative complexity. Omar can maintain enterprise-wide standards efficiently. Question 20. Research indicates that automating infrastructure provisioning while ensuring adherence to configuration standards requires both orchestration and management capabilities. Which combination from the Realize suite delivers this effectively? A. Realize Log Insight with VROPS. B. VRO with VRO. C. VRB with VRA. D. VROPS with EA. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Combining Realize Automation VRA with Realize Orchestrator VRO delivers comprehensive provisioning and orchestration capabilities. VRA manages service catalog, approvals, and lifecycle while VRO executes workflows and integrates with external systems. This pairing ensures consistent, automated provisioning aligned with organizational standards. Question 21. Throughout the course of a disaster recovery drill, cloud engineer Sophia must ensure that critical workloads can be restored in a secondary site with minimal downtime. which Realize feature best supports planning for the required resources ahead of time. A. Automated approval workflows. B. Showback reporting for backup costs. C. Capacity forecasting in ROPS. D. Blueprint-based deployment templates. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Capacity forecasting in Realize Operations Manager analyzes historical usage trends to predict future demands. By using this feature during disaster recovery planning, Sophia can ensure the secondary site has adequate compute, storage, and network capacity to handle critical workloads without performance degradation during failover. Question 22. By comparing departmental cloud expenses, financial analyst Kevin needs to identify the unit consuming the most high-cost resources and justify optimization steps. Which Realize component provides the best visibility? A. Approval policy audit logs. B. Showback cost analysis in VRB. C. Workflow dependency mapping in RO. D. Real-time alerting in ROPS. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Showback cost analysis in Realize Business for Cloud maps resource consumption to financial metrics for each department. This visibility allows Kevin to pinpoint high-cost usage patterns, present actionable insights, and recommend optimizations while maintaining transparency in its spending. Question 23. The relationship between automation speed and compliance is critical in Manager Aisha's environment. She wants to enforce naming conventions, secure its configurations, and quotas directly in the provisioning process. Which RI feature best meets this need? A. Embedding governance rules in blueprints. B. Manual validation after provisioning. C. Separate service catalogs per policy type. D. Custom capacity planning scripts. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Embedding governance rules directly into Realize automation blueprints ensures every provisioned item adheres to naming, security, and resource policies. This eliminates post-provisioning corrections, increases compliance, and accelerates delivery by integrating standards into the design phase. Question 24. During the process of integrating an external ticketing system with workflow automation, DevOps lead Martin wants to trigger automated updates whenever a ticket changes state. Which RO capability is designed for this integration without extensive scripting? A. Capacity alert dashboards. B. Approval escalation rules. C. Event-driven workflows using plugins. D. Static catalog configurations. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Event-driven workflows enabled through Realize Orchestrator plugins allow external system changes, like ticket updates, to automatically trigger automation processes. By leveraging plugins, Martin can avoid complex custom coding and achieve seamless cross-platform orchestration, enhancing efficiency and responsiveness. Question 25. In contrast to reactive troubleshooting, systems engineer Preya wants to detect anomalies in database performance before they affect operations. Which ROPS feature best supports this proactive approach? A. Service catalog naming standards. B. Dynamic threshold-based alerts. C. Workflow templates in RO. D. Cost chargeback models. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Dynamic threshold-based alerts in Realize Operations Manager adapt to normal performance patterns, triggering notifications only when metrics deviate abnormally. This enables Preya to act before service degradation occurs, reducing downtime and improving overall system reliability. Question 26. Taking into account multi-region provisioning needs, infrastructure architect Daniel must ensure consistent automation policies across different geographic tenants without manual duplication. Which approach is most effective? A. Global approval policies in RA. B. Separate blueprints per region. C. Localized workflow variations. D. Manual compliance checks. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Global approval policies in Realize Automation apply uniform governance across all tenants and regions from a single configuration. This centralization ensures compliance, reduces administrative effort, and eliminates repetitive manual setup while supporting large-scale multi-region environments. Question 27. For the purpose of improving maintainability, automation specialist Nora is deciding between embedding scripts in workflows or creating separate reusable components. Which method best aligns with scalable automation practices? A. Static blueprint variables. B. Approval templates. C. Reusable actions in Vro. D. Manual task execution. Answer. Correct answer. C. Explanation. Reusable actions in Vrealize Orchestrator encapsulate logic in standalone components that can be invoked by multiple workflows. This modular approach streamlines maintenance, ensures consistency, and allows rapid updates without altering each workflow individually, making it ideal for scalable automation environments. Question 20. Evidence suggests that unclear service catalog naming has led to provisioning mistakes in Adam's organization. To improve user self-service accuracy, what is the most appropriate corrective measure? A. Expand the catalog with more diverse services. B. Enforce standard naming and descriptive metadata. C. Remove low-demand items without replacement. D. Require all requests to pass manual approval. Answer. Correct answer. B. Explanation. Enforcing standard naming conventions and enhancing service descriptions improves clarity, enabling users to select the correct service quickly. This reduces provisioning errors, increases user confidence, and supports adoption of self-service provisioning without adding complexity to the process. Question 29. From a historical standpoint, enterprise architect Omar notes that scaling infrastructure reactively has caused performance bottlenecks during peak demand. Which VROPS feature best prevents this issue in the future? A. Catalog entitlement rules. B. Predictive capacity planning. C. ERB showback reports. D. Vro plugin integration. Answer. Correct answer. D. Explanation. Predictive capacity planning in Vrealize operations manage a project's future resource needs based on historical data. By acting proactively on these forecasts, Omar can provision resources ahead of demand spikes, avoiding bottlenecks and ensuring consistent service performance during peak usage. Question 30. In what ways can Vrealize Automation and Vrealize Orchestrator work together to deliver end-to-end automated provisioning with integrated governance? A. Vro manages service catalogs while Vro executes orchestrated workflows. B. Vro analyzes performance metrics while Vro collects logs. C. Vro performs capacity forecasting while Vro manages cost reporting. D. Vro provides dynamic thresholds while Vro sets approval rules. Answer. Correct answer. A. Explanation. Vrealize Automation manages the user-facing service catalog, entitlements, and lifecycle governance, while Vrealize Orchestrator executes the underlying workflows and integrates with external systems. Together, they deliver seamless, compliant, and fully automated provisioning workflows that align with organizational policies.